All right, hello, welcome traders. Hey, it's Monday, October 13th. I know like three videos in less than 5 days. Um, Still struggling with my voice, but I wanted to just jump back on here. I jumped on a Sunday, which I don't normally do, just to kind of get the message out there that, hey, you don't have to panic into anything, buying or selling. It's all good. Just trade your plan, let the market shake out, find what's working out there, and then place your trades. And like I said, we didn't have to close out anything for a loss on Friday. Okay, actually the only thing I closed on Friday was a winner in zero DTE. Now, there's some idiots out there on YouTube thinking you didn't take losses on Friday. I'm like, No. Yes, net lick was down. Yes, and there's some trades were down, but no, we didn't close anything on Friday. Why would we do that? It was only down 3%. So we didn't close anything for losses on Friday. We didn't close anything today. And we didn't go hog wild buying today, despite what the market overreaction was. So, again, for those of you that really struggle to understand and just want to post negative crap on YouTube here, you're knuckleheads, man. So, anyway, I don't know how you get by in life, but I'm sure there's good jobs for you still in the food service industries somewhere. Anyway, so for those of you that get trading and find some value here, I'm going to share some things with you as well today. So I thought I would come on today and share a couple trade ideas. So we're not going to go through portfolio and all that stuff. We had a great day. If you didn't have a great day, I don't know what happened. Now, if you bailed out of everything for losses on Friday, well, then you're not having a great day today. But like I said, we just hung in there. And I told you yesterday, just stay calm, trade on. Life will be good. Okay. And just trade your plan, but trade what you see and ignore all that outside noise. I'm ignoring the noise from the knuckleheads that post on Twitter and YouTube, especially that who don't even understand what I'm apparently saying to you. And I'm tuning out what I'm reading on Twitter or X, as it were. And I don't watch CNBC ever. And I like to just trade what I see. Now, it doesn't mean events can't move the market. Certainly they can. Okay. And can a Trump tweet move the market? Yeah. Okay. But I don't try to listen to how other people are interpreting it. I love Tom Lee to death. Okay. I don't really care what he's saying. Okay. Because I got to trade what I see. All right. I don't care what somebody else is saying out there about the markets falling or dropping. I feel like Don Kaufman is constantly just speaking doom that the world's going to end, the market's going to end, volatility is going to explode, we're all going to die. Don, stop. I mean, just if you guys just got to tune it all out. All right. So there's it from me. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. If you like it, great. I hope you get something out of it. If you don't, it's okay. There's a million other people out there that you can go check out. But if you're going to watch my videos anyway, knock yourselves out. Okay. I don't mute most of those people because it's great for them to just have that sitting there so people can read it going, what the heck is this guy talking about? He must be an idiot. So I love to leave those comments out there. You guys can delete your own once you realize you're knuckleheads. Anyway, so let's get into some trades today. I'm going to share my screen. Let's jump into some trade ideas. And let me get off video here so you can see the whole screen. We'll share it down here. And again, I just want to share what I'm doing. I don't care if you like it, great. If you don't, it's all good. This is what I'm doing. If you have something else that you want to do, it's totally fine. Okay, that's what makes the world go round. So I'm going to jump into a couple trade ideas. And one trade idea. So one of the things I did today, and I did a little house cleaning in my investing account, not my trading account, but in the investing account, I took off some really big winners, uh, and I think at times you got to just evaluate your portfolio, and uh, I figured this is a good time to take off winners because I want to move my money into some other things. Um, there, and I added more covered call ETFs, which I love. Some of them, not many of them, but some of them out there. So we added some more of those. We added a little bit more crypto on the move today. And this is one of the areas I moved into. So I did have a bunch of Ethereum, ETHA. I closed it out, not for really losses or anything, pretty much scratch. But I funneled some more money into Bitmine. And why did I do that? Well, one of the reasons is when you take a look at, um, let's actually look at Ethereum out there, ETHA, either one of these will work. So if we're looking at this, yeah, this chart's kind of a sideways jumbled mess. All right, there's nothing here for me, to really hang my hat on. This is pretty much just this sideways box of trading range, and that's all well and good. Now it's been up, and then it's consolidated here. So again, it's not the worst thing in the world, but what I want to do is put my funds into areas I feel a little bit more confident in. And I think Ethereum is great. I'm very bullish on crypto overall, and I do have a good portion of my funds, not 50% or something like that, but I do have a pretty hefty portion in crypto. All right, I'm just trying to keep my voice going. So I do like it, but what I moved money into was Bitmine, and here's why. Because you just saw what Ethereum was doing and ETHA, which is again this sideways pattern, but this is a pretty distinctive ascending triangle, and I love triangles as trading patterns. Okay, the ascending triangle, the descending triangle, symmetrical triangle, and then if you really want to look at rising wedge or a falling wedge, all those five patterns, you could probably live on those. You want to throw in some head and shoulders and stuff like that. It's all good. You do what do what you like and do what works for you. But I like triangles. Okay, as a soccer coach, we coach in triangles as well, and that's how we move the ball. So I think I just gravitate to triangles. Anyway, I love the way this is shaping up. I love the way the 8 is above the 21. That is one of my number one bullish triggers out there. I love the 8 above the 21. I love it on the weekly, the daily. Okay. I love it intraday. Whatever you want to do, uh, I, 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 I want to have the odds stacked in my favor. I want to trade with the trend, or I want to trade the reversal. I'm probably a bigger reversal trader than I am a trend trader, but either way, I like both of them quite a bit. All right, so you can see this is pretty much a really nice, you know, upward trend, bouncing along this trend line pretty happily. And even though we had some selling the last week or so on this, I love the bounce, the move today off of that. So we added more Bitmine. So there's one of the plays today was I added Bitmine. Again, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. I'm just sharing what I'm doing and why I'm doing some of it. If you can get some education out of it, fine. If you get some entertainment out of it, fine. If you get nothing out of it, that's fine. Like I said, and some of you apparently don't. So, and some of you get a lot out of it. And I love it. And if you guys give me some thumbs up on the likes here, I would appreciate that as well. Helps the algorithms, helps get the word out. And if somebody can be, helped by one little tip, trick, trade, whatever it might be, okay, then I've done my job. But really, I'm just sharing what I'm doing. And I do it because for no real other reason except that keeps me accountable. Okay? I've shared all of my wins. I've shared all of my losses. I've shared large losses once or twice. I've shared large wins multiple times. I've shared my P&L with you. If you don't like it, it's all good. Okay, but I want to share what I'm doing, and I like Bitmine here. So Bitmine is a good one. I'm on it. Bitcoin itself, kind of in this sideways move, but a big move down. Okay, and then now a little bit of a bounce or a rally off of that, and it's continuing to rally into the end of the day today, where it was actually down a fraction, and then it's kind of, you know, regained itself here. Now, the 8's crossing the 21. That's no bueno. And we have a bearish PSAR. Okay, and we have RSI below 50. All right, and we have the stock below the 21. So right now, bearish. Okay, doesn't mean go run and hide and sell everything that you have, but it's a bit bearish. But I do trade IBIT, and when you look at Bitcoin, okay, pretty sideways. And IBIT, I use this as an income poor man covered call trade in multiple accounts. I love this trade. I love the fact that it's just kind of sideways to just gently moving higher over time. Then it consolidates. Yep, a little bit of a wedge pattern back here, broke through. Right. So we keep an eye on these types of trades. And I do like this. I think this is a great income poor man's covered call where I sell either at the money or in the money. And it depends on what the 8 and the 21 are doing as to whether I sell at the money or I sell in the money. And I'm also in strategy, right? And why? Okay. And yes, it's a downtrending stock. Okay. Pretty easy to see. Everybody, including some of you that make comments out there, you can probably even see the fact that this is downtrending. Okay, eight's below the 21, stocks below the 21, bearish PSAR, RSI below 50. Okay, the MACD's falling. It's all good. Uh, uh, it's bearish, but because of the way that I trade this thing with the income poor man covered call, we're doing fantastic with it. Okay. Why? Because when the eight's below the 21, which it has been since what, July 28th, okay, with the exception of like 4 days here, right? When the eight's below the 21, I sell in the money, covered calls. Okay. We've made a killing on this thing. All right. So love this trade. It's doing great. Okay. And I will continue selling income poor man covered calls until the 8 crosses back up over the 21. Then I will go back to selling at the money. Right. For now, so in the money. Okay. So while the stock's falling, I'm still making money. I'm not only getting all the extrinsic value out of the trade, which is all I care about anyway on the income poor man covered call, but I'm also protecting my downside. It's fantastic. Okay. You don't always have to sell 30 delta out of the money. I don't know, why that's a rule. Okay. Trade what you see and be smart about it. All right. Let's get into a few other things here. And I really like UNH. Okay. So I'm very long on UNH. And it's one of my favorites right now. It's actually my largest holding of anything that I have. And I know there's a lot of junk going on this screen. Okay. We're heading into earnings. I think there's going to be some pretty cool announcements coming out. I'm pretty stoked about earnings, to be honest with you. This thing is up really healthy in after hours trading. Had a bit of a pullback, but the 8's still way above the 21. Okay, on both sides of the aisle here on the daily, and then it's about to cross here on the weekly, which is a really bullish sign. Okay, and I'm trading this as a poor man's covered call. Okay, well, what's the difference? Well, when the 8 is above the 21 and the stock is above the 21, I'm selling further out of the money, like 15 to 20 delta. When the stock is below the 21 or the 8 is below the 21, I'm selling closer to like 25 to 30 delta, right? It's a big difference in the income generation that you have. I could even go 30, 35, 40 delta. Okay. But it's a poor man's covered call, which is different than an income poor man covered call. I'm all about the gains. I really think this thing is heading towards 400. I think this gap is getting filled. I think we're on our way to 378. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that hit this week. But I think 400 by Christmas is where this thing's headed. Again, not financial advice. Do your own research. This is what I'm trading. Oscar, to me, is just a mini version of it. And this is also a great opportunity, I think, to get long. We're in Oscar a couple different ways. And I really like Oscar and the way it's setting up as well out there. All right. I'm going to give you a few other kind of unique trades that we've got running, and you can take this for what it's worth. You can trade whatever makes sense for you, right? But I do like, and I also, by the way, I kind of like where Tesla is here. Eight's above the 21, bouncing off the 21. Tesla looks good. Meta is not in that same category, but I really like the opportunity here. I believe it's oversold. And you know, I love the reversal trade as much as I love, okay, those trades that are trending higher. I think this could be an opportunity coming up. And I also think Google here is about ready to want to try to break this downtrending channel or bull flag, as it were. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what happens. Broadcom off and running. This thing looks good as well. Eight's above the 21. We came back down, tagged the 50 on Friday. Great opportunity. Okay, it might be a little bit going a little too quickly away from you, but that's something to keep an eye on. And then we added a hood trade today. What did I do in hood? I added a strangle. Why? Well, we're very close to the 21 here, so which I like. We're also pretty close to the 50 RSI on hood. So I thought, you know what, let's go with a triangle. It's a little unbalanced, um, but I would be willing on hood, okay, to take assignment if we would drop. And I used down here, right around this anchored VWAP, bottom of the Bollinger Band, and previous pivot level here. I like the support in this area down here. So this is where I'm selling. All right. And then we also did a trade today on CoreWeave. So let's take a quick look at CoreWeave. Again, don't always love stocks, but I don't mind these for a spec trade. They're not my main investing thesis, but I like this stock a lot. I love this company. The more I learn about this company, the more I really, really like it. Okay. And we got long on this thing today by selling some naked puts on this. Looks good in after hours trading. Nice reversal today. You know, it had broken out here on Friday, and then because of the market, it came back down, but it didn't even touch the 8. Okay. So the 8's strongly above the 21, above the 50. 50's gaining on the 100 day as well. The weekly looks pretty good on this. And if you really want to boil it down, okay, this was, for the most part, a descending wedge. The breakouts of descending wedges are pretty bullish. So I do like what we saw in here. So again, another trade opportunity based upon a triangle that we may see going on out there. So this was again, buy the dip, and I did suggest buying the dip on some of these things, but you got to be selective. You can't just buy everything today. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple trade ideas for you and cover what we looked at. And then Uber, boom. Okay. Uber, a nice pullback, a little bit more than I would like. You got the 8 breaking the 21, bearish PSAR. It's all bearish. Okay? Everything in Uber currently is bearish, but not on the longer term uh, weeklies. So, this being said, I don't mind this for a reversal off of the Bollinger Band with the weekly looking pretty nice and a pretty good uptrend going on here. I don't think this is bad, not a bad opportunity in here. So we've got, oops, right? So we've got this uptrend line that we've held off of more or less for some time. And I think this pullback in Uber, not bad. I also will give you one more. I know we're giving you a bunch. Okay. PayPal. I loved this ascending triangle. Okay. We bought the breakout. It ran hard. Then it gave up a little bit of that and came all the way back down in here. I got back into it today, okay, on this move down here. All right, so we were into it as a trade by selling a naked put on this thing in here. But I do like where PayPal is. It's a trade, not necessarily a long-term holding, although it does fit my criteria for a leap trade. All right, so there's a lot of trades and a lot of trade setups. What I want to spend just a few minutes on is You know I love the 112 trade, and we certainly trade that in our main trading account. And that's been doing fantastic. It's our number one trade for the year, and it's held up really, really, really well. And we do it on ES, and I've got multiples in here. I've got one near 65%. Okay, another one at 15, and this one's down. This fractionate's brand new. Excuse me. Okay, but nothing to be excited about at all. But I want to look at some stocks on 112s. So let me get into a few of these stocks. They don't all set up. So I think you really got to be smart with what you're doing. All right. So let's get into Hood. Now I know there's earnings coming up, but I really like to do these 112s around 12 to 14 days. I'll take the 18 day and I will set up kind of a typical 112 here on this. And I think it really matters where you find some support. So if we were looking at Hood overall, where do you find some support? Well, 121 is the 50, 106. So I think we could probably move this up a little bit higher, but 121 being the 50-day moving average on Hood, it's a little overextended. It's a little sideways too, but the chart is super bullish, and we're just getting a nice pullback in this thing. It's still above the 21. We're still above the 50 RSI. There's still decent strength, and this 112 area is right around the lower Bollinger Band, which would be a great area to get in to the trade. So let's take a quick look at this thing, okay, and see how this sets up. All right. So here's this trade on Hood. Again, you can do 112s, stocks, futures, whatever you like. But take a look at this. I'm going to take in 169 bucks, right, using $3,000 in buying power, right? This is an 18-day trade. Well, if we stay up here in this area, we're going to make almost 6% in just over 2 weeks. 6% in 2 weeks in the tail. If we drop down at all into the trap part here, okay, we could actually go up to about 269. So not quite a double, but 269 on the 3,003 bucks is about 9%. So we have no risk to the upside, and then to the downside here, we've got a pretty good trap. And if you wanted, I think you could also move this up and put on something a little bit more like this, where I'm still making 163 bucks on 3006. So now I'm making like 5.4%. Again, in over 2 weeks, 5%. Okay. You want to be a little safer. You want to do something more. So I moved up. I made my trap bigger. I moved it closer so we do get any selling. You could also potentially, okay, move it up to here. Okay. In fact, you could go in the money with it. So here's an opportunity, or here's an idea for you. Okay. A little bit of a strangle. In fact, I like to do these, okay, closer to, let's see how high we can go on this thing. All right, let's put this thing on. Right, a little bit more, almost like a jade lizard type of a trade. We have no risk to the upside. We're going to make $131 in the tail using 3028 on this. So in the portfolio margin account, I'm going to make 4% if we rock it higher. And if we stay here and only go up a little bit, or we even drop down into here, okay, what we don't want to do is we don't want to get way below, below the 112. So I would, have a stop loss here. Although 112, as I mentioned, is an opportunity area where I would probably take assignment if I was doing that. So here we can make in the trap $231 using 3028 on margin. Okay, in this trap, we're making almost 8%. Okay, I like this trade. I like it a lot. I think it's a good opportunity. You can keep moving this thing up and around, whatever uh, makes the most sense for you. All right, so you can still make some pretty good money. So there's Hood, right? We do also have one on Palantir here. This one's down fractionally. It's down $80. It's all good. Okay. But if I was going to put on a new one in Palantir, okay, we could, let's see, I don't know if it'll set up. So they don't always set up. So we'll take a look. But where would you sell, okay, the naked puts on Palantir? Okay. If you were just going to sell naked puts on Palantir, okay, and you sold them at uh, on Palantir, if I'm going to sell it at the 100-day moving average is 155. Okay. So we could actually probably bring this up quite a bit. Okay. So here's the same type of a setup on a 112 on Palantir at 18 days. Let's take a look. What do we think about this trade? Okay. Now I know it's messing with the other one. I don't know why Tasty always merges them all together. Pain in the butt. Okay. So here's the Palantir trade. Okay. In the tail, 185 bucks. Okay. On 1138. $185 on 1138 in margin. That is a 16% return up here for Palantir right now. Okay. 18 days, 16% return. And if we drop down here, as long as it doesn't go quickly, because again, you can see the T+0 line, a quick, sharp serious sell-off, okay, is going to make this thing not feel so great. But if you thought you would like it at 155, you definitely might like it at 145. I mean, 145 would put you all the way back to the September 5th low. Below that, actually, you got to get all the way down to August 20th. Okay. Do you want to go back 2 months and try Palantir again? Not a bad setup, in my opinion. I like this type of a trade. Okay. And again, I think you could move these up. Okay. I can make my I can make my trap higher. Okay. By doing this, I'm still making $142 in the tail using 1136, which is still 12%. And now I've got this really big trap. Okay. If you want to move it higher, you can do that as well. Okay. Look, let's go all the way up here. I can still make 92 bucks if we rocket higher. Okay, $92 on 1158 in margin is 8%. So if this thing just rockets, I make 8% in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. If we stay here, okay, I'm going to make over 3 times that, 3.5 times that amount of money in here. I love this Palantir trade as well. So I think there's some good opportunities. I just want to get you thinking a little bit that not everything sets up perfectly. You don't have to use futures for some of these trades. You can put these on in a variety of areas. Okay. You see, I just put on a few new trades today. Okay. Gold. Okay. GLD, we've got that thing rocking and rolling here with the income parliament covered call. This thing's up ridiculous amounts. But what did we do on gold? We actually did what I call the BA 111 trade. I'm going to share that with you. I don't normally share that trade. We're going to go out 42 days on this one. And I'm going to put on the exact trade that I have on now, but I don't think it's the right trade. In fact, it's not going to be the right trade, probably. Um, but we're gonna do a 111 so that we don't have a lot of extra risk and Vega risk and have too many contracts. Okay. But I want you to look at this trade. Okay. It's so big. Okay. Look at the size of the length of this tail all the way down. If gold keeps running higher, we're going to bring in $490 using 7187. Oops. Okay, which I believe is 6%. Let me do that again. 490 on 71.87. Yeah, 6.8. So really 7% in the tail. Okay. 7% if gold keeps rising. If gold starts to sell off at all and we fall into this trap area, okay, we're going to double that to 990. So now we're going to make almost 14% in 42 days, right? And if you want to be a little bit more conservative, which sometimes I do, but this 3630, I mean, that is the bottom of the Bollinger Band. That's below the 21. That's below the 50 EMA. You can keep going down even further if you wanted to, like 3,600. Okay, you're still going to make 390 in the trap, or I'm sorry, in the tail, and 6618. Okay, that's 6% in 42 days. Okay, my goal is 3% in 30 days. So I could actually take less for this if I wanted to. So if we go higher on gold, I still make 6% on this trade. If we bounce down in here, I still make almost 2.5x. And I got puts all the way down here at 3,600. Okay. So 3,600 on gold from here, okay, is a 530 point drop on 4130. So gold would have to fall 13%. I'm not saying gold doesn't fall 13%. Okay. These are just trades. Okay. So look at some of these trades, take in some of these ideas. Maybe you find something that works for you. Okay. If you like this video, click the like button down below. Everybody stay safe out there. Be smart. Don't overdo it. Wait until you see, some confirmation on what you're trying to trade. You don't have to be in everything. Okay. Don't get FOMO. Okay. And for the love of Pete, people out there, just listen to what this is. And if you don't like it, it's fine. Go somewhere else. If you like it, give me some likes down below. And if you really want to see what we're doing in the lab and come up with some great trades and trade ideas, come join me in the Discord. Not a hard sell. If you want to find out on that, you can go down below in the description, click on the link, get 40% off the first month. Okay, come in there. We made another 0 DTE trade winner today. Okay, as soon as we retraced 50% of yesterday's drop, I sold call credit spread, and that came off in about 20 minutes or so. All right, so if you like 0 DTE, we can do that as well. Have a great rest of your day, folks. Stay safe out there, be positive, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.